What is up, YouTube? This is Chris, I'm Professional Dad, and I'm back with another knife video. Alright guys, so as you all know, those of you who are keeping up on my channel, who are watching my videos, you guys know that we're having a massive giveaway right now. We're giving away that Mcnees Mac 2, and it's fantastic. And a lot of people have talked about how they don't have a knife like that. They've never even thought possible to get a knife like that. People are talking about their collections, what it would do for their collections. And basically it got me thinking. Got me thinking a lot. Thinking back to when my collection was just getting started and I didn't have a next level knife like that. That's not next level. That's like, grail quality. But I didn't even have a next level knife. And I remember when I was wanting to get my first next level knife, I remember the anxiety that I had of trying to find out which one. I mean, I was watching so many videos. I was reading blogs and like, what is the Googling everything from what's the best knife to get for this price, what's the best knife in this range, what's the best knife with these materials, what do people consider the best knife overall in the world. I mean, every way variation that you could come up with that, I was typing it in Google and trying to find out. And in YouTube the same way. And I read a lot of stuff, watched a lot of stuff, because I was so anxious. I knew that this was only going to be my only one. I wasn't getting another one. I wanted to get the most I could. I didn't want to get it and then realize, oh, I should have got this or that. I wanted to make sure that I got one that was going to blow me away and it was going to be epic. And it's on this table and it done exactly that. And it was a next level knife that I was absolutely blown away and in love with. And I still am. Now, I remember all those feelings. And I know that a lot of people are, doing those same journeys with their collections. So what I wanted to do was a list of the top 5 knives that you can consider when looking to get your first next level knife. All 5 of these will do that for you. They will all 5 give you that ultimate feeling of having a knife that you can truly be proud of, that will take your collection to the next level. You're not going to look at these and be like, oh, really? That's all? I've gotten knives before where the hype has been so big and huge and you're just expecting so much and you get it and you're just so like, really? I don't get it. I've had that happen. So these knives will give you more than that. Now, of course, this is my opinion and this is all relative in perspective. And your perspective might be different than mine, but I think that you'll agree with most of these. They're fantastic. Now, I did do a video like this back when I first started my channel about 4.5, 5 months ago. And it's crazy. I've been doing this for about 5 months already. That's crazy. But yeah, about I think it was middle to the late October when I put my very first knife video on YouTube and started in, and we're in the middle of March right now. So, I mean, it's not been long at all. I've been very blessed and fortunate because of you guys, so thank you. But I did one of these videos and it had a few knives on it, had 5 knives on it. 1 or 2 of these were on that list. Most of these weren't, because my knife collection has grown so much in this time. I've gotten more knives. I've been introduced to more knives. I know more about knives now. So this is a much more complete and epic, list. Now I'm going to start with 3 alternatives. These were all knives that I could have put in this list, but I put them back. But I want to give you a few ideas really quick. I'm just going to run through these. The first alternative that I almost put on this list was this one right here, the Flytanium Arcade. This is an absolute fantastic knife. Fantastic. This thing is amazing. This truly is next level in every single way. S35 VN blade steel, excellent jimping. And I mean, this is the aggressive type of jimping that I like, where like you're losing skin before that thumb comes off. Dual thumb studs. It's also got that shark lock, which a lot of people like to have different types. They want their first next level knife to be epic in one way or another. Design, or the lock, or blade steel being magna, something about it to be epic. This knife is going to give you a lot of those things. The lock is epic. It's awesome. People like that. It's got carbon fiber inserts. Now you can get different arcades with different color aluminum, but with different inserts. You can get them with G10 and stuff like that. These are also removable, so you can change out the inserts of the arcade. It's kind of like the Kaiser Militao. Now, I'm going to be honest about this because I'm honest with you guys about everything. I don't want to hide nothing. I always give you guys my honest opinion. There are knives to where, here, I'll give you an example. The Demco, I can do this all day long. The Shark Lock don't give me no problem. This one, I struggle with this lock a little bit. It's a little bit more confusing than it is on the Demcos and stuff. The Vision FG from Civivi, all those, I can do them just fine. This one, I struggle with this one a little bit. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know why, but it is a little bit of a struggle for me. But ultimately, it feels awesome in the hand. It's an epic knife. You talk to anybody about the arcade, and this thing is premium. I mean, excellent knife. You can't go wrong with this. It's this version right here is $209 because of the carbon fiber, but usually they're $199, $200. So, excellent knife. You can't go wrong with that one. Another one is one of the knives from the 3-knife challenge that I'm about to do, and it is this right here, the Microtech Amphibian. This is a knife that will pick up your collection, carry it on its back across the finish line to the metaphorical next level. This knife is epic. Bowler M3 MagnaCut. That's the dumbest thing I've ever said, I do believe. Bowler M3 blade steel. G10 handles. It's got a ram lock, which is basically their version of a crossbar lock. Excellent action. Excellent action. Good thumb studs that give you good traction. This thing's got awesome action. A big old pocket clip that's milled that you can do reversible, left hand or right hand tip up only. A cool geared spacer. I mean, this thing is just epic. This knife, I said it a while ago that people want their first knife to have something about it that's just epic, that just screams next level. Everything about this knife screams next level. It's not just about the size, it's about the look. This is an epic look right here. It's not normal, it's different, it's unique, it's quality. The fit and finish, the fact that it's Microtech, the fact that it's made in America. So many different things are going for this knife right here. This is the apocalyptic blade style where you have that stone wash finish and everything. Now this knife right here is coming in at $301. You can get different amphibians for different ranges, but they're all hovering right around that 300 and above price range. But I promise you this knife right here, as much as any knife on this table, is an awesome choice for next level. Now this knife right here could be the #1 knife on this table. If you ask me, one thing holds it back from being my top choice. One thing, and only one thing. I wanted to see something really quick. All right, no, it wasn't. This knife right here, the MKM Hero. Only one thing keeps it from being the top knife on this list for me, because I am so in love with this knife. I think that the fit and finish and the quality of this knife is so high and so epic that it can qualify and fit in any list, anywhere, and hold its own against any knife. Now, it's an Italian-made knife, the MKM. Now, if you know anything about the Italian knife makers, they still do guilds over there. So this is like a family thing, like a generational thing. They make knives not as a way of life, but as family honor. Like, it's what's in their blood. They are born to do these guilds. Like, doesn't matter what guild they're in. You guys have watched Dungeons and Dragons or different epic fantasy shows, and you know what guilds are. You've played games where they've got different guilds, the Magic Guild or this guild or that guild. I don't know, guilds. I'm not an expert. They've got knife guilds over there in Italy, and they're good at what they do. And I've said it in many videos that the Italian-made knives that I have are, without a doubt, in my opinion, and again, this is all just my opinion, throw it out with the dirty bathwater. Don't listen to me. I don't know anything. I'm a nobody. I don't know jack. I've learned what I've known from you guys. And I wouldn't even know that if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you. I'm just rambling here because I like talking knives. But in my opinion, from what I can hold in my hand and tell and see, the Italian-made knives that I have, when you hold them and look at them, their quality, and I'm not just talking fit and finish. I'm talking the engineering, the way that they're made. You can just look at them, you can feel them, and you can tell they are on a whole nother level. Their engineering and yes, it does go to fit and finish, but it's more than that. The way that these things are put together are awesome, epic. The only reason that this is not the number one knife for me is because of this right here. Because it's a lockback. And a lot of people won't want their first epic knife, next level knife, to be a lockback. Some people will. Some people want nothing but traditional knives like a lockback or a Jack Wolf or something like that, like a slip joint. But some people don't want a traditional knife to be their first next level knife. They want that fancy lock or something like that. But I'm going to tell you right now, this knife is awesome. It has got Bowler M390 blade steel, titanium bolsters, anodized hardware right there. It's got a milled pocket clip that is reversible. It's got excellent jimping on top. And here you go. The handle material is called durable black sure touch handle. I don't even know what the handle material is. I've never been able to figure that out. I don't really know what it's called. They just call it on the handle material on the list of specs. It's called other, but they call it durable black sure touch handle. But this thing is awesome. I will also tell you this, and everybody that's got one, I've talked about these in so many videos that I've seen other people have emailed me, hey, I got one, I just got it in, and you were right about this right here. Oh, that sound right there is the most satisfying lockback sound I have ever heard. Oh my gosh, I could listen to that all day. I have literally done that. When Kate was still living here, I would drive her crazy. She would be like, what is that noise? I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. She's like, are you doing that with that knife again? I'd be like, yeah, I'm sorry. I would just sit and do that because that sound is so epic. It's just awesome. This is a great knife. Now, this knife is going to cost you $289. Now, they have different versions of Heroes. And recently, about a month and a half ago, they had them on Blade HQ or Knife Center 1 for around $150 for a lot of Heroes. With the titanium bolsters, with the M390 blade steel. Now, they did have different handle material. There are different ones. They all are the same size, the same everything. It's just some handle materials and some looks are more popular than others, I guess. I don't know. Because they all were the same exact knife, just different handle materials. And some of them are $150. This one never dropped. This one was always $289, and it is still $289. I guess this is the most popular one. But any MKM Hero that you get, you're going to love as much as this one. This is fantastic. All right, now let's get to the list of the top 5. These are top 5 knives that I'm telling you guys, if you get these for your first next level knife, you are going to be blown away, and it will take your collection to a new place. You are truly going to love these knives. And it's not about, right here. I have a $10 Ozark grill. I carry this thing around. I love this thing. I'm blown away. I was in Walmart the other day telling my brother about how awesome these were, and they're calling them the Ozark grills because he's like, daggone, dude, you love knives more than anybody I've ever seen. I was like, I can't help it, dude. I do. I love them. They're my hobby. They're my passion. I love this thing. We're not talking about those. I love all these knives. This is on a different level, guys. When you get one of these knives and it's your first one, you will understand what it means to. You go from just a knife user and a knife collector, you become a true knife enthusiast. Not that you're not already, but just it truly takes you to another place. I remember myself, and this, you probably don't have this problem or stuff. I never felt like I was really part of the community because I didn't have any really great knives. I mean, she got me the Enduro 4, and then I got the SE4 and 135 VN blade steel as a fixed blade. But I didn't have any really epic next level knives that I had bought and gotten and stuff on my own, and I just didn't feel. I would watch all these videos about collections and stuff and these YouTube people, and I just didn't feel like I was part of it. I didn't even feel like I deserved it because I didn't have any good knives. That was very wrong. It was not true. And if you don't have any next level knives, do not worry. You are still part of the knife community. As long as you love knives. No, I take that. As long as you love edged tools, weapons, axes, machetes, whatever, you are part of this community. 100%. I had to learn that, and you guys made me feel welcome, and I appreciate it. But these will make you truly feel like you've got a place. Because a lot of times we just feel that ourselves. But you'll know what I mean. The first one is this one right here. The Kunwu Django. This one is not a knife. It's a work of art. Kunwu makes some of the most beautiful knives I've seen. There are a lot of beautiful knives, but this one is by far, no question, this one is by far the most beautiful knife of these. It is gorgeous. It's got orange peel titanium handles. Now, what do you mean by orange peel, Chris? Well, exactly that. Take an orange and feel the peel of it. It's smooth, but it's got like that like very minuscule, but you can feel like a little bit of not roughness, that's the wrong term. Orange peel. You know what it means by it. Same right here. That's orange peel titanium. You can see it almost, that little minuscule bit of texture to it. Titanium. Milled pocket clip. Now, most of these in this 5 list don't have reversible pocket clips. I think one other one does. No, 2 other ones do. Oh, yeah, actually, most of them do. I'm sorry. 2 of them don't, 3 of them do. This one is reversible. It's left hand or right hand tip up. It's got a clip point blade, which is basically Bowie style. It's got excellent jimping. Now, that is not super aggressive, but it's not micro. You can feel the traction. It's not super aggressive, though, but it's there. You'll feel it. Now, it's got a really nice finger choil, so you can choke up on it. This does not have any type of thumb flippers or thumb studs. What it does have is a crossbar lock, and it has a thumb hole. Now, I made this video a while ago, and I messed up and had to start over because I called this Bowler M390 because I had just been talking about the MKM Hero, and I just flowed to this one, and I said M390 again. This is LMAX blade steel. LMAX blade steel, in case I said it in this video as well. I didn't catch it if I did, but titanium handles and LMAX blade steel. It's fantastic quality blade steel. It's got excellent corrosion resistance. It's got decent toughness, good edge retention. All in all, it's a good blade steel. It's definitely a like one of your super steels, premium steels. It's a good one. It's a real good one. Some people might not like it, but some people don't like MagnaCut. So there's always going to be variations to opinions. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. And those people aren't wrong, because to them, that's how they feel, and they're 100% right. So we all have to have our own opinions and form our own opinions. And so there's an exception to every rule. But the rule is, overall, the LMAX is a fantastic steel. It's just a great knife. It's a great knife. This is gorgeous. It really is. And any Kunwu, the Chad, the Padre, the XTAO, XTAO, however you want to say it, they've got some excellence. Now, here's another one. This also comes in the XL version, the Django XL. Now, if I had known about that when I first got this, I would have got the XL version instead. But I had just learned about the Django. I didn't know about the XL. I knew I liked the look of it. I wanted it, so I went ahead and jumped the gun and just ordered it real quick. And then later found out there was an XL. I was like, oh gosh. But do I need it? No, because this one is fine just the way that it is. It is gorgeous. It's beautiful. I mean, it's epic. Here, let me give you some stats on this thing. This is, they call this the XT lock, crossbar lock, but they call it the XT lock. It is 7.72 inches in overall length with a 3.2 inch blade. It's a clip point with a flat grind, a plain edge, titanium handles. The weight is 4.5 ounces, so it's got a little bit of weight to it. You'll like that if you like a weighty knife. I like a knife with some weight to it. I like this knife. Now, if those with steel handles, obviously it would be heavier, but they're titanium, so it takes a little bit of that weight off. Left hand or right hand, but tip up only. Manual opener with a thumb hole, crossbar lock. And this is made in China, and it is called the Django. I'm telling you guys, this is a fantastic knife. This is a knife that you get when you want something. Now, people are going to carry these and use them and stuff like that. Absolutely, use what you have what you use. I'm all for that. I don't personally, because I don't have enough opportunities. I tell you guys that all the time. I just don't have the opportunities to go out and use my knives. I'm always home with my boys. I don't go anywhere. Plus, I physically, half the time, can't do it anyways. So I'm limited on how often I get to use my knives. Even if I could go out every single day and beat up my knives and truly get use out of them, this is not a knife that I would do it. This is a knife that I'm going to sit there and put up. We call them safe queens, yes, but it's just so beautiful. I don't want to beat this up and tarnish it. It's just too pretty. It's $239. It's one of the most affordable knives on the table, but it's definitely one of the highest quality knives on the table. I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think you'll love it as well. The Kunwu Django is a fantastic option. You can use it, hard use, whatever you want. Great sharp piercing tip. You can use EDC, whatever you need. Or you can do like I do and keep this as one of those pieces for your collection that you get out as a collection piece that just takes your collection to the next level. You've got your beaters, you've got your hard use knives, and then you've got your pristine, like, this is the centerpiece to my collection. That's what this can be for a lot of people. I know that it was for me for a long time. Still is to a huge extent. I've got more Kunwu now, and I think Kunwu is fantastic. I love this knife. The next knife was my first next level knife. Like I've told you guys before, Kate got me the Endura 4 Knife Center exclusive as a gift because she felt like I had been through a lot. I was suffering. I was in a lot of pain. She knew she knew I was into knives and I didn't have anything like that. She gifted it to me. I was completely blown away. But it was also her kind of like, all right, it's okay for you to enjoy this hobby and get a knife or two if you want. Within reason, as long as we can afford it. And then I got the SE4 and S35 VM blade, still the fixed blade. That was my first knife with really good powder steel, was that SE, because I didn't have any knives with the really good S35s or S30s or anything like that. It was all D2 or AUS 10 or 420 or 440 or whatever. But when I was ready to really spend some money on a next level knife, I watched so many videos and read so many things, and one knife, and this was, you got to remember, this is a couple years ago, one knife kept being mentioned as one of the best knives overall. Like, I think I read like 20 top 5 list, and this knife wasn't in all of them, but it was in a ton of them, and on many of them it was the best overall knife. Now, and this wasn't talking Chris Reeve Sabenzas, this wasn't talking Hinderers and stuff like that. This was talking those $200 to $300 next level knives. This was on a lot of lists, and on many of them it was number one, and I know why. And this was my first one. It is the Zero Tolerance 0562 Carbon Fiber Hinderer Edition, designed by Rick Hinderer. This knife, I will never, ever get rid of this knife. This knife, God forbid something happened to me tomorrow, there's a couple knives that I'm going to be requesting in my will that I'm buried with. I want my kids to have all of my knives, to enjoy them, to go on, learn from my stuff, take them, do whatever you want, but hopefully they keep them and they grow their collections. By the time they're adults, they'll have a ton of them. But there's a couple knives that I want to be buried with. The Endura 4 is one of them. And this is one of them. That might be too deep, too epic. I'm just telling you how much I love this knife. I love this knife. This is fantastic. This is a next level knife that is so primo. You've got to hold this thing to understand and experience how nice it is. I said I wanted to get a knife that when I held it, it took me to another place. I didn't want to get a knife and be like, oh, that's all? Or, oh, well, yeah, that's nice, but I would have rather got this now. I think that one might have been nicer. When I got this and I held it in my hand, all other knives cease to exist. It's like when you meet your significant other, all the other people from your past, all the other people around you. You can walk into a crowded room full of the best looking people in the world, and there's only one person that you see. Nothing better in the world to be in a situation like that. Well, when I got this knife, that's how I felt about all the other knives. I swear, I heard some of my knives crying in the background because they knew immediately that they were replaced. I had to reassure them. I took each one on my side, talked to them a little bit, gave them a pep talk. I mean, I had to take a couple of them out, on a, kind of a dad knife, day to the park and spend some time with them and just tell them, hey, I know I love that knife, but you are still important to me. I think we got through it. Some of them still mad at me, hold a grudge, but it's okay. But this knife is awesome. Carbon fiber, titanium handles, 20 CV blade steel, designed by Rick Hinderer. Come on. This knife is not next level. This knife is up there with those knives that we're talking about. It's not a Hinderer. It's not a Sabenza. But it's one level right below it. I'm telling you, this is a grail knife for a lot of people. This thing is so awesome and epic. I mean, look at how beautiful that is. Look at that knife right there. I mean, tell you guys some stats on this thing. It is 8.25 inches in overall length with the 3.5 inch blade. Drop point, 20 CV blade steel with the flat grind, satin finish. Carbon fiber scales on one side with titanium frame lock handle on the other. It also has the stop lock right here so the frame doesn't over travel too much and mess up your frame lock. I enjoyed that. I like it. It's 5.45 ounces. This knife's got some weight to it. It's got some butt to it. I mean, it's got some behind. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some weight to this knife. You can get some good cuts. You can, if you wanted to use a knife for hard use, a beater knife and stuff, this is a knife that can take the abuse right here. This knife is meant to work. Left or right-handed, because it's a deep carry pocket clip. And it goes through the top, so you can just turn that over, and I don't know if you can see that right there. Goes through the top there, and it will go through the top right there. So it's left or right-handed, tip up only, frame lock. I like this about it as well. A lot of knives, the thumb studs really protrude out there a lot. This one, you don't have that. They're not as long. They don't stick out so far, Sometimes that's unattractive. Sometimes they're just too much. This one, it just has enough to really get the traction you need, the real estate to flip it open, and that's it. But it also comes with a thumb flipper. And I also like this, how it's got that, that hook going upwards, so you get better traction on it. Boom. Jumps right into place. Frame lock. Designed by Rick Hinderer, 100% made in the US of A. Boom, mic drop. We can end the video right now. We've already seen some knives. You've got enough to go on, but we're not done. We got a couple more. I don't know if it's going to get better. I don't know if it can get better, but we're going to try. The next knife, in the words of my good friend Master Sergeant, Those who know, boom, carry Spyderco. Paramilitary 2. Now, I've got a lot of Spydercos, and I could have brought a lot out here. I thought about the Mcnees. I thought about the Smock. I thought about the Shaman. I thought about all those. I thought the Shaman might be too much. You know, I just thought, just keep it simple. We used to say in sales, and I don't like using this word, and I don't let my kids use the word. It's the stupid word. I don't like it and stuff. And you know, I try not to have them say it. I say it sometimes, you know, because I'm an adult and I'm allowed to. This is a do as I say, not as I do world. You know what I'm saying? For my kids at least. But we had this saying in sales: keep it simple, stupid. And that's what I feel when I look at this knife. Keep it simple. It is just so basic and so epic at the same time. The Paramilitary 2, you can't go wrong with. It's a Spyderco, made in America, Golden, Colorado. It's got G10 handles with the pocket clip. It is a 4-position pocket clip, so you can go left hand, right hand, tip up, tip down, whatever you want. It's got an excellent thumb ramp right there with good aggressive jimping. You guys know you felt a Spyderco jimping. The ergonomics are fantastic. So even for a big hand, you can hold it, and it's got a finger choil right there so you can choke up. Really nice. It's got a good long drop point blade with a good sharp piercing point. A lot of belly with the flat grind. This knife is a very thin blade stock of S45 VM blade steel. Now you can get Spydercos in so many different versions of blade steel. I mean, Spyderco probably more than anybody else offers their knives in more steels than anybody else. Same thing with the Paramilitary 2. You can get it with different G10 handles. You can get it with, you know, different colors. You can get it with the blacked out blade, a satin blade. Just, this thing's got some options. Let me just tell you. The compression lock, in my opinion, is the best lock of all knives, of all knife locks at least. Not the safest. I say it in all the videos, not the safest. The safest lock is the lockback. The safest lockback is the Triad from Cold Steel. No question, in my opinion. They've tested them 890 pounds or something like that. So they hold a lot before they snap and give way. You're not going to do it. They're that safe. But the one that's going to be the overall best, because it's still very safe and secure, but also it's fidgety, it's easy, it's got a lot going for it, and plus, because of who makes it, is the compression lock by Spyderco. They do such a great job with this. Now, with the Smock has the button compression lock. I mean, so they've got some options with even their compression lock. But I love their compression lock. I love this knife. It's fantastic. The Paramilitary 2 is a great tactical knife. It's a great beater knife, a great EDC knife, a user knife. You can use this for food prep. The blade is so versatile. This is, without a doubt, no question, hands down, the most versatile across the board knife on this list. No question. They're not even in the same ballpark, this compared to all these other knives. This is the most versatile knife, in my opinion. Again, in my opinion. You probably disagree, and if you do, that's okay. You're probably right. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. I call LMAX M39, M39, M390. See what I mean? See what I mean? So anyways, just my opinion, I think it's overall the most versatile knife. Now, let me see. Let me give you some stats on this. 8.25 inches in overall length with a 3.44 inch blade. S45 VM blade steel. They're calling this a clip point. I don't see it. It's a drop point. But okay, we'll call it a clip point. Whatever. Flat grind, satin finish. G10 handles. Texture G10 handles. Steel liners. Full steel liners. 3.75 ounces. So you're still getting a little bit of weight with this. Left hand or right hand, tip up or tip down. It's got a thumb hole, no thumb studs, no anything else but that thumb hole. Boom. epic. It doesn't matter what hand you are, left hand or right hand, you're going to be able to operate that thumb hole pretty easy. I mean, it's simple. Compression lock, paramilitary 2. Oh, and guess what? Made in the USA. I mean, is this the 4th of July today or something? Because this is American pride we've got going on right now. Another made in the USA knife. This is insane, guys. Next knife. Whoo! Did I talk about Italian knives a while ago and say that they were excellent and they had some of the best engineering and craftsmanship that you will ever see in a knife? I think I did. But I am getting old. I'm almost 50 and I could be imagining that. I don't know. I'll have to rewind the video later on and find out. But let's just pretend that I did. Because the Lion Steel Mito, my show, is a daggone faux show knife. This thing is awesome. I mean, I have no idea what I just said, but my 3-year-old would probably understand. And that's what matters, ultimately. This thing is awesome. I mean, awesome. If you ever get a chance to look at a Lion Steel Mito, to look at the lines, the engineering, the milling there's so much more than fit and finish when you're talking about a knife. Fit and finish matters. It's what it's all about. But this is more than fit and finish. This is the milling. This is the fit and finish. This is everything on top of it. It's the way that things are fitting together, and it's hard to explain. It really is. It's hard to explain unless you actually see one in person and you hold it and you're like, oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you can definitely look at this and tell there's a difference between this and just normal frame locks and stuff. There's a level to this game, and this knife is on another level. So it's got a beautiful spacer right there. It's got titanium frame lock on one side with the milled pocket clip. Again, this is another one that's reversible, left hand or right hand. Bowler M390 blade steel. Putting too much pressure on that frame lock. I do it all the time. Crowned spine. Again, I said it a while ago. I'll say it again. Crown spines, to me, just take a knife to that next level of elegance. It rises above when you go those extra steps. And these craftsmen right here that make this knife, they go that extra step. I don't know why I love a crown spine so much. I don't know why, but to me, it just makes a knife so much more sophisticated and elegant. I like the look of it. I like the feel of it, everything. But ultimately, this is a fantastic knife. Now, the Lion Steel Mito, if you look up any list you want of top 5, top 10 next level knives for a new collection, I bet you the Mito is in a ton of those lists. It's that daggone nice. You are getting so much with this knife. This is what you think of when you think of next level. You're not thinking about something that's hardcore use. You're not thinking about something that's just beautiful. You're not thinking about something that's edgy with its look like the amphibian, or something that's got this new epic shark lock or anything. This is next level because it's just next level. Because of everything about it. Because its look, its form, its function, its capabilities, its materials, where it's made. Everything about this knife is next level. This is the one knife on this table. Every knife on this table, there's something about it that makes it next level. Every knife. This is the one knife of all of them that is next level because the whole thing about this knife is just next level. It is epic. It's the one knife. All you have to do is say, I have a Lion Steel Mito. And anybody that knows anything about knives are going to be like, yo, yeah, okay, all right. That's the knife right there. The Lion Steel Mito is fantastic. I'm telling you. It's the one knife that you cannot go wrong with on this list. I'm telling you, you just can't go wrong with the Limestone Mito. 8 inches in overall length on the dot, 3.25 inch blade, Bowler M390 blade steel with a drop point, flat grind, satin finish, carbon fiber with the titanium frame-like handle, 3.61 ounces, so still a little bit of weight. This says it's right hand only, so it's not reversible. Pretty sure that it is, but we'll go with it. They say it's right hand only, but half the time they say that they're not ambidextrous when they'll have the holes right there, so you know it's ambidextrous. So we'll go with it that it's right hand only, tip up, a manual flipper, frame lock. The designer is Moletta Michele Pensato of Italy. So this is made in Italy. And I'm sorry, Moletta, if I massacred your name. I apologize about that. All due respect. You make one heck of an amazing knife. Now, this knife comes in at $319. Oh, by the way, let me tell you guys, I forgot what this knife comes in at. This knife is the most affordable knife on the table. This Spyderco Paramilitary 4. I told you guys, I don't know what I'm talking about. The Paramilitary 2 comes in at $198.75. It's the most affordable knife on the table. The Mito comes in at $319. So that is the most expensive knife on the table. But it also, there's a reason that it is. I mean, this knife is just so next level. And the last knife, is there any question that I was going to add this knife? Was there any question at all? I put it in a 3-knife challenge a while ago. I'm anxious to see when I upload it what everybody's going to think. I hope everybody agrees with me that this knife is epic, because it is. And it is the 940 Osborne from Benchmade. In my opinion, again, my opinion, the best knife Benchmade has ever made. In my opinion. You can disagree, that's fair. In my opinion, it's the best knife that Benchmade has ever made. They released this at SHOT Show in 2000. And since then, it's went on to spawn a ton of different variations. You just got the mini. It's got a whole bunch of different materials. They've got the gold series that come out. I mean, they've got so many different 940s. It's insane. They've got auto 940s. They've got these 940s. They've got so many different ones. And there's a reason why. Because this thing sells like hotcakes. And they're still selling them to this day, 25 years later. They're still selling them. There ain't nothing that's changed about the design. They changed the materials. They changed it from an auto to a, just a manual. They changed it from full size to mini. But the actual look, the ergos, all that, same knife. It's that epic and that well made. Now, they made this knife for people that work with horses. For the blade shape, it's got a different blade shape. For scraping and scooping out like horses' hoofs, or scraping out boots and stuff like that. This was designed to be a true beater worker knife. And of all the knives on the table, this one is a beater worker knife. These things are epic. They are beautiful aluminum handles with a purple spacer that is gorgeous. It just pops against that green aluminum. It's got a pocket clip that's not deep carry, but it is reversible. So you see the holes there. So left hand or right hand, tip up only. It's got dual thumb studs, but it's also got the axis lock. Now, Benchmade was the first ones to come out with the axis lock. We call it the crossbar lock or the axis lock, either one. But they created the axis lock, and they perfected it. I mean, it's epic. This thing's got amazing action, amazing ergonomics. The blade shape is so different and unusual. Like a lot of knives, you can hold it up And you'd be like, that's a drop point blade, but there's a lot of blades that look like that. So what knife is it? Without seeing the whole overall knife, if you just see the blade, some people can't tell one from the other. Clip point blades. You might have a clip point blade like this. No, it's not on the table. Or another clip point blade that looks like a Bowie style, and you can't tell the difference. They look the same. This knife blade, if you know anything about knives, you spot this one, know it immediately, because there's no other knives that look like that. There's no other blades that look like this, not that I can think of. It's that unique. It's got an excellent flat grind. It's got a very sharp piercing point. This is reverse tanto. Just an overall epic knife. This thing is fantastic. The 940, of all the knives on this table, again, I go back to the list. If you looked up a ton of different lists, this is probably going to be on more lists than any of them. It's just that epic. The 940 is the, I mean, if you want a safe queen, here you go. Just look at it. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Boom. If you want one that's got a ton of different uses that you can go out and you can use, you can be tactical with it, self-defense, looks cool, has a lot of different uses. You can prep food with it. You can do EDC, whatever. There you go. I mean, I can go on and on and on. If you just want one that's just the next level, it's just screams quality, and it's going to take your next knife to the next level just because it's the knife that you have, and you just tell people that you got that knife or show them, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's the Mito. But if you want a next level knife that you can take out every single day, put it in your pocket, go to work, beat the tar out of it, and come back home, and it's going to be the same exact knife that you left and went to work with, maybe a little dirtier, clean it up, maybe a little duller, sharpen it, but it's still going to be the same knife. Right there you go. The Osborne 940. This thing, in my opinion, is the best knife the Benchmade ever made. There's so many good things about this knife that I can't list them all. That's why I saved this one for last. It is that epic and awesome. I think that this knife right here is probably the safest bet on the table. Some people would say that this is the safest bet on the table, and I wouldn't disagree with them. I wouldn't. But I think that this right here is the safest bet on the table. Now, the Osborne is 7.87 inches in overall length with the 3.4 inch blade. It's S30V blade steel. It's 58 to 60 Rockwell chart. Now, some people might say that's a little low, but that's actually where you want this knife, because this knife is designed to be a beater knife. So it's got to be durable. It's got to take the abuse. So they lower that Rockwell chart to give it that toughness, that durability. It's a reverse tanto with the flat grind satin finish. Aluminum handles that are green with steel liners. 2.9 ounces on the dot. Left hand or right hand tip up only. Thumb studs with the crossbar lock. It's a 940 Osborne and made in the US of A. I mean, this is a made in the US of A show. Practically, with the exception of a couple. This is a fantastic knife, guys. And you can get this knife right here in this version. Now, you can get the autos. You can get the gold models or whatever they're called. You can get all kinds of different versions of this knife that's going to jack that price way up. You can. But I'm telling you, this is all you need. And this is good enough. And it's $240. I mean, what a steal. I'm going to say one last thing. When it comes to the Butterfly brand, not everybody, Not everybody agrees with this. But a lot of people believe that the Butterfly brand is extremely overpriced. Now I'm going to say something about this. I think that if it wasn't for one knife in particular that people think is absolutely overpriced, and I agree with them 100%, I think it's way overpriced. I think it's a fantastic knife for EDC. I think it does exactly what they intended it for to do. It reaches the goal of that. I won't say what, you know what knife I'm talking about. It's exactly what they wanted it to be and designed it to be, but it's overpriced in my opinion. And I think that because of that one knife, a stigma goes across the entire brand of Benchmade. I could be wrong. The Crooked River, I think, is a fantastic knife at its price. I think a lot of their knives, but then again, you talk about any brand, you can say some of their knives are overpriced. It is what it is. But I think that more than anything, because of that one knife, people kind of have a bad taste in their mouth for the brand and the Butterfly. So it kind of like washes over the whole brand that they're overpriced. I think that this knife ain't overpriced one bit. I've got plenty of knives that cost $240. And I think that this is worth $240 if any of them is worth $240. That's just the way I feel. I could be wrong. So yes, one or two of their knives in my opinion is overpriced, but that one is worth $240. It's a steal. And if you get this and take your, I promise you, you're going to love it in your knife collection. This is a centerpiece. But this is a centerpiece that you can use every day. You won't look at this and be like, oh, it's too pretty to use. It's too pretty to beat up. It begs to work. You know, this is a centerpiece that you can get your money out of because you use a lot, but also get your money out of because it's a next level knife that's a centerpiece to a collection. Best of both worlds. Again, there's a reason I saved this one for last. So guys, that is my list. Tell me what your list of 5 knives that you think are next level material that you would think that a person's first next level knife could be. $200 to $300. I mean, give or take. I mean, maybe $180, maybe $320. You know, but right in that range somewhere, $200 to $300, give or take a little bit. What 5 knives do you think? Leave them in the comment. Tell me if I'm wrong about any of these. I'd love to know. I'm not counting it's M399 when it's really M390. You know what I mean. I was wrong about a lot, but it is what it is. Really quick before I end, all of you guys that are in my premium members list, you guys are epic. The list is so long, it's getting hard to say them all, so I'm just going to tell you all this. You all mean a lot to me. I appreciate it more than you possibly know. Thank you very much. The support is beyond kind of you and appreciated. All of that is going towards the knives. Remember, guys, if you want to join the premium members, I don't get that money. That money goes towards the knives for the Knife of the Month giveaway that only premium members qualify for. The last day of the month, I go live for premium members only. And I give a knife away that only premium members qualify for. I do plenty of giveaways, but this one is only for premium members. And the more premium members there are, the nicer the knives are. They will always be at least $100 in value, but usually they're worth $150 to $160 so far. And the more there are in this list, the nicer the knives are going to be. But the more people, the nicer the knives. The last day of the month. If you join in your tier 1, you get 1 name in the hat. This is not a random pick drawing. We don't use a random picker. I literally draw names from a hat. If you're tier 1, you get 1 name in the hat. If you're tier 2, you get 3 names in the hat. If you're tier 3, you get 5 names in the hat for the drawing. So to give you for instance, if you're a tier 1 at $2 a month, that's $24 a year. You get 12 chances a year at knives that are worth at least $100 in value. So 12 chances at $100 to $150 knives for $24 a year. a year. Not a month, $24 a year. 12 chances at knives like that. It's a pretty good deal. I don't care. Don't join. Nobody has to, because I'm not getting any of that money anyways. I'm just telling you guys, I'm trying to come up with more ways to give more knives out. And that's one way that I can do it. So I appreciate it, guys. To everybody, I appreciate it. If you have, make sure that if you're joining that Mcnees, people are still leaving comments in the Mcnees video saying, great channel, appreciate the content. Make sure that you watch the video and you know what kind of comment you've got to leave. I would hate for somebody to win that Mcnees and get disqualified because their comment says, I commented, I'm in, I want that knife, and then I have to say, no, this is disqualified. I won't want to do that. But it ain't fair for everybody else to leave the right kind of comments and one person to win that doesn't. So it is what it is. But that's neither here nor there, guys. That's the negative way to end this. I shouldn't have done that, but it is. I wanted to clarify that up. I wish all you guys sharp knives and happy lives. I'm Chris, the Unprofessional Dad. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know in the comments what your 5 knives are. It's been an awesome, epic day. Mcnees Mac 2, 3.5 inches. Awesome. Take care, guys.